All right, we know that fear and finances do not mix very well, but having a simple investment plan can reduce the worry that you might have if you are investing on your own. Here with 3 steps to try to help take control of your money and create an investment strategy that works, hopefully without fear, is money and business expert Derek Kinney. Derek, great to see you as always.
Hey, thank you, Jason. Great to be with you.
This is something I think a lot of people experience. There's a lot of intimidation in investing and figuring out what you want to do. A lot of people don't really know what their goals are when they set out, except that they just like to make money. So you say the first thing you should be doing here is figuring out what your top 3 financial goals are. Why is that so important to do in the very beginning?
Well, it's critical. The number one thing that holds people back financially is overwhelm. They don't know where to start, and because they don't know where to start, they simply don't start, and then they procrastinate. So a simple plan to start with is take a sticky note, a yellow sticky note, and write down your top 3 financial goals. I want to pay down X amount of debt, I want to save X amount toward retirement, and I want to save X amount toward my kids' college education, for example. Those become the centerpiece of your financial planning. And here's the way to supercharge that, Jason. You want to put 3 Post-it notes, one on your bathroom mirror, one on your nightstand, and one in your car, ideally in your center console. That way you can look at it 3 times a day to stay focused. When life comes at you fast and hard, you want to stay focused on what it is you're running toward, and you'll be much more likely to get it.
That's a great idea, Derek. You know, I have so many of these little Post-it notes all over the place anyway for other things. And, you know, money is an important thing, and you're always trying to get to something. You got to write those goals down somewhere and see them from time to time. Good idea there. Next, you say that people should invest based on their time frame. Let's talk a little bit about what that means when you talk about somebody's time frame.
Well, in my book, Good Money Revolution, I talk about the 4 lanes of investing. In that far right-hand lane, checking, savings, money you want to keep there very, very safe, ideally about 3 to 6 months of committed expenses. The next lane, let's say you want to buy a house in 3 years. You want to invest that money in places where you're not going to lose it in the stock market. That might be more moderate conservative. The next lane, retirement, longer term. Think about the S&P 500 or longer term stocks. That far left-hand lane is where most of the accidents occur. You get most of the speeding tickets. That's the more speculative investment. So whatever your goal is, determine what lane you then need to invest. It simplifies the process. And the bottom line is you're not taking too much risk for what allows you to sleep comfortably at night.
All right, so let's go back to the beginning here and talk about how this is really overwhelming for a lot of people to get in and start investing here. And this is the third thing we want to talk about, is getting people to reduce their investing anxiety. And my question here is, how do they do that, especially when we have months that are really rough in the market, like, for instance, September was?
Yeah, life is stressful enough without adding worry and undue anxiety when it comes to investing. So you want to ask yourself 2 questions. First of all, those of you watching, do you like to pick out your own investments and have a handcrafted strategy, or would you be comfortable using what's called the index method, where you buy things like the S&P 500 or the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and it's run for you? Or if you want to work with a financial advisor, the key is to have a game plan with what you are comfortable with. Personally, I like to pick my own investments. I like to do those for other people, and so that's what jazzes me up. But other people, that could really stress them out. And once you have that strategy in place, then you want to match it with how much risk are you willing to take. You mentioned September. If you feel like the market volatility right now is really causing you to lose sleep at night, you may want to take some risk off the table, and that would allow you then to have a smoother plan toward your goals.
Yeah, if you start feeling butterflies in your stomach as you watch the numbers every day, you know, maybe it's time to reallocate some things and put them in some different places. But you're right, Derek, it seems like there's a lot of things available to people, you know, these exchange traded funds, robo-advisors. I mean, they may not get you the biggest returns like the market is getting, but it kind of does the math for you and decides what to invest.
Well, as I always told my clients, I'd rather you tell me, Derek, I didn't make much money, than Derek, where did the money go? If you have to choose one or the other, you know which is the better question.
So my graphic jump started me there. I always love to close with the mistakes that we make. What is the biggest mistake that you see people make when they are investing, and how do you avoid it?
Number one, do not compete with other people's investment returns. Typically, by the time you hear of that hot stock tip at the office, it has cooled dramatically by the time it reaches you. So do not compare how your money is doing to other people. You want to make sure that based on your 3 financial goals and how you can sleep well at night, are you making the progress to make sure that you're feeling like you're not taking too much risk? Because if you do, and the market goes south, you could actually lose all you've saved, and now you definitely can't live the retirement you want, and that's just not right.
Yeah, you're like chasing after a runaway freight train there, and there's just no way you're going to catch it. Derek Kinney, the CEO of Good Money Framework, thanks as always for making us a little more financially smart on this Tuesday afternoon.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.